Hello, everybody. In this video, we're going to be talking about a lot of interesting things, a lot of great subjects. So this is going to be a two-part video, not one video, but two videos, because it goes into a lot of information about a lot of different subjects. So please make sure you watch both if you want to get the information from today's session from both videos. But we talked about the energy in February, the energy of love, and how we're connected to it, and how does this help humankind out as well. So very interesting on that. The second thing was a healing meditation. I got a couple of responses that y'all enjoy the healing meditation, and another healing meditation came through, and it was a different point of view, but it was pretty good. So you're probably gonna enjoy it. If you enjoyed the first one, you're gonna enjoy this one as well. The third thing that we talked about was manifesting what you want in life, whether it's a job, a car, a house, how to manifest things, how to bring things into your reality. So you don't want to miss that. And fourth thing talked about was ascension. What does ascension mean? And what does it mean for the whole? And I was bringing up the question of what does it mean for the soul? And it kind of gets very deep into the questions. So, and the last thing that we pretty much were talking about was the solar shifts and the polar shift. So this is going to be two videos, not just one video. So I'm going to break it up into two. So please make sure you subscribe, and please make sure you hit that like button. And I'm going to trying to have both videos up this week, hopefully. So if not, it might be no more than a week apart. So I'm going to start working on the first one. But as I said, it's going to be two videos, and I don't know which one's going to have which categories or which subjects, but you definitely want to watch both of them. So thank you very much. You mentioned ascension. Can you give us your perspective, your definition of ascension, of what that means?
Ascension is such a universal little word that we do find you guys using here a lot. What we are seeing the ascension process as being, I know that a lot of people speak of the event, so let's go there as well.
Okay.
The event is you. You are the event. You are the event. Oh, that's such a beautiful thing to acknowledge. You are the event. Breathe it in. We want you to breathe that in. Okay. So if you are the event, you are now bringing yourself into the best version of yourself that you can, and that is your ascension. That is what ascension is. Maybe you started down here, and you're working your way up, and you're working your way up to being the best version of you that you can be. You all have these versions of leaders, religious leaders in your cultures. All of you do. This one has the religious leader of Jesus. Jesus is born, and Jesus works at opening the mind, expanding, healing, loving, treating everybody with love and kindness. That is ascension. Moving out of, what do we want to say there? Out of ego, maybe that is the word. Maybe moving out of these more selfish ways, these more material ways. We're not saying you can't have material. We're not saying you can't do things for self. That is not the message. The message is love yourself. Love yourself. When you do that, you may find that you desire less of the material things. You don't want to compete with the Joneses so much anymore. You just want to be happy. And it doesn't matter what is making you happy. If being happy is a material thing, that is okay. That is part of the experience in this reality, and it is a fun experience. So we do not judge that. But what we ask you to do is be kind to your neighbor, help where you can help, be a good person, raise yourself up. We can all strive to be the best version of ourselves, even us in this other realm and collective. So we ask and invite you to do that. You know, what would Jesus do? We love that phrase. What would Jesus do? We ask you, what would the Arcturians do?
That would be interesting.
Yes. So we ask you again, kindness. Find your kindness. Step out of your own problems and your own worries and go help somebody else. And you will find that your answer will come to you when you act in service to others. It is a wonderful thing. It opens so many doors. And so we ask you to do this. Go out and give it a try. We said it earlier, open a door for somebody, compliment somebody, do something nice without being asked. There you go. If you are married, do your spouse's chores today. Yes.
Wash some dishes.
We like that giggle, Jason.
Wash some dishes.
Wash some dishes. Take out the garbage before you have to be asked. Whatever it is, make a bed, do a load of laundry. Nobody wants to do chores. Nobody does. So do chores for somebody without being asked to do it. Just do something kind. Do something sweet. We say Valentine's Day. Again, it's coming up. Why take just that one day to do something sweet and kind? Make every day Valentine's Day. It is always a good day to be in love. And so act from love, be in love, respond in love. Somebody's upset with you, respond in love. Respond in kindness. They are hurting. They are not getting loud because they want to get loud. They are getting loud because they don't feel heard. They don't feel like they're being acknowledged or appreciated. Give them something that they need. Look them in the eye. Hear them. Comfort them. Acknowledge what they're trying to say to you. Validate them in some way. See how that changes the conversation.
I do have an interesting question that also deals with ascension. Is that linked to the soul? A lot of people, when they think ascension, they think of it as their soul. Is that like a two-part situation? As you make yourself better here, you're helping yourself out on a soul level as well?
This is going to be a complicated question. So, what is the soul? You do know you are only one aspect of your soul. And you have many aspects. And you have many realities playing out. And you have many dimensions, many lifetimes. Each and every one of those lifetimes is like a little computer chip, getting knowledge, getting information, and bringing it back to the motherboard of the computer or the soul. So yes. The answer is yes. It is all helping the soul to evolve. The soul is so much more expansive than anything that could fit into these tiny little vehicles. You are just an aspect of that. You are a slight consciousness of your high self or soul. Let's see if we are answering your question. You're asking, ask the question again, and let me see if we can bring this answer to you.
Sure, not a problem. For ascension, is it also on the soul level? Usually when people are speaking of ascension or thinking about ascension, they're thinking about not them physically here, but they're more thinking about as their soul level, their soul conscious level.
Yes, again, this is, as Dolores would say, this is very convoluted. Yes. Let's see if she wants to come in and address this question.
Her book's right here.
We are seeing a no, don't want to. Okay. I think the question is why would a soul go through so many experiences? The hard experiences, the sadness, the heavy energies, the chaos, the pain, the suffering, correct?
We could touch base on that as well. But from what it sounds like, ascension is more in the physical, like right now you're being happier, doing positive things, doing things for others. this helps you out as an ascension. And it sounds like ascension is more of raising your vibration.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So yes, ascension is always happening. So we talk in this reality of, well, let's go from the 3D to the 5D. Okay, so then you get to 5D and you're like, yay, we ascended. And then surprise, now let's go from 5D to 6D. Right? So we are always ascending. We are always moving these ascension vibrations up. We never want to stop ascending. This is a beautiful experience to move out of this energy into the next one, and then out of that energy into the next one. And maybe ascension was going from a 7th dimensional reality to a 3rd dimensional reality. See, too many rules, too many belief systems. Let those go. We don't know. Maybe the ascension was that 11th vibrational reality that you just came out of going, oh, that was so fun and blissful. Okay, now let's go see what it's like to get kicked around. Let's go to the earth. You know, that might be an ascension. It is not that one is above another. Think of all of these different dimensions as being on the same level. And you are just playing different tones on the piano key. All of them are beautiful. All of them are amazing to listen to when played together. But this end of the piano plays a different tune than that end of the piano. There's a different vibration, there's a different sound. And that is what you are experiencing. Different frequencies, different realities, different vibrations. And yes, it is exciting to move out of the chaos, so to speak, of what's going on in this 3rd dimension and learning and evolving this level of consciousness that you're in and bringing it into the next level of consciousness. That is fun. It's not to say you haven't already been there, right? You have had other lifetimes. You have done this many times. And it's like, okay, it's like playing a video game. You make it all the way to the end and you win, right? So then you go, okay, reset the video game. We start over. Okay, we're back here to the baby stage of the video game. Now I got to work my way all the way back up again. Maybe that is what you are doing, but you're doing it through different experiences now. So much, like we say, it's a convoluted question. It is very complex, but hopefully that will help you understand that take the rules off of ascension. Just do the things that make you happy, light, and help you enjoy your life, because that is why you are here, to enjoy and to experience.
Sounds good. Good answer. Good answer. You did mention raising your vibration from the chaos in a way. We could talk about that next if you want. That is one of the questions that Tracie had, is how to raise your vibration from the chaos.
Yeah.
When you find out negative news, negative situations around you, that's a good one for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, so there is a lot of chaos right now in this world that you live in. You turn on, everything is media, everything, even billboards as you're driving your car, there's media everywhere. And it is constantly moving into the mind. And so we say to you, be very selective about what you watch. And this one does not watch the news. Her reality is much different than someone who does. And it is just that simple, is it not? It is what we are feeding our minds with that create the reality around us. So again, you are the master of your reality. This is your matrix. This is your construct. If we could just get that part through to you, whatever you feed into your mind, you can create. So if you are watching the news and you are letting these different news stations showing the chaos and the destruction, or the president is this, or this group of people is that, and these guys are violent, and You know, whatever it is that you keep plugging into your mind, if you want that to be your reality, it is right there for you. You can make it your reality. If you want to shut that TV off and you want to go spend time with a group of like-minded people that are exploring their spirituality and expanding their consciousness, then that gets to be your reality. Mm-hmm. If you are into the UFOs and you want to say hello, we are right here. And you can go and find a collective group like that and you can make that your reality. You see what we're saying? You get to create your reality. So when this is not right in your face, when you go out your front door, is there a war going on? And maybe for some of you there are, and that is your current reality. Or maybe you go outside and there's the neighborhood children playing in the street and laughter and giggles and the sun is shining, and yet you're living in fear because you had just watched the news where there was a shooting or a bombing or a this or a that somewhere in a land that you don't even know about. Maybe we don't know, but we just ask you, what is the reality, what is the life you would like to be surrounded with, and put your energy into that. If you want to expand your mind, if you would like to be in contact with Arcturians, or if you would like to be more in the spiritual realm or yoga or whatever it might be that strikes your fancy. Maybe you like to drive cars. Maybe you like to go to movies. Whatever it is, just surround yourself with things that you like. Surround yourself with people, like-minded people. Maybe you like to get into the politics and maybe you like to get into the conspiracies, and that is okay. Then go do that if it makes you happy and makes you passionate. But if it's making you scared or it's hurting you, we say don't do that. Don't do that. Go find something that makes you feel good and do that. So yes, you can raise your vibration above the chaos, unless of course it's the chaos that makes you happy, and then go right for it. Go to the chaos. What we are asking you to do is be happy. And if that is making you happy, then you go do that. People love to search out knowledge. People love to educate themselves and to be able to debate amongst each other. It is good. It can be fun, but it can also be scary for some. And if it is scary for you, we ask you not to do that. Did that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. That's a wonderful response, actually. I think a lot of people will find some use with that one as well. The next thing, you talked about it just briefly, just for a moment, and I also see this on videos as well, but you mentioned the solar shift and the polar shift. Can you give us your perspective of that, the solar shift, and what is that exactly?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So we are talking about the sun and the planet. Is that your question?
Yes, the sun and the planet that deals with the solar, like what is the solar shift? What is your definition of it, and the polar shift?
Mm-hmm. What we are seeing right now with the solar or with the sun is that it is creating a different pulse. That might be the best way to put it. Like the frequency or the waves of the heat that come in from the sun that heat your planet are actually shifting in the way that they are pulsing into the planet. And that is part of what is affecting the physical body of the human beings at this time, is the pulsating energy of the sunlight that is coming into the planet. This is not only affecting the planet, but it is affecting all of life on the planet, not just the human beings, but the animals as well, and the water, and the trees, and so on and so on. And what is it doing with the planet is the poles are shifting. The poles are shifting. What does that look like for the planet? I think we had talked about before how we have been doing our best to surround the planet with a shield, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The shield around the planet to help maintain the atmosphere that helps you to survive at this time, so that you can survive this polar shift. There is a lot of a lot of shaking of the earth right now, a lot of movement of the earth as this shift happens. And because the one we are speaking through is not very scientific, it is hard for us to find the words for what we would like to say is happening with the planet at this time. But do know that we have a shield around the planet to help hold the atmosphere in place so that those of you who are, we are saying that wrong, sorry. Yes, those of you who are on the planet can survive this shifting and movement of the planet. There will be some who exit, of course, the planet, that decide to not stick around at this time and will come back at another time when the life on planet is more sustainable again. And by that we do mean a physical death will happen with some, and they will depart. And that is okay. They have chosen to do that. Just know that they have chosen to do that. It is their time, and they will exit. They will be back. And the earth will, this is definitely not something that happens overnight. It will most likely happen through most of your lifetime here as the planet will get settled back in. Again, we just say, raise that vibration, create your reality around that. Be safe, feel safe. And the source energy will create that reality with you.
One last question that deals with the polar shift is that really where when we're talking about the polar shift, that the North Pole and the South Pole is moving? Is that why some areas are getting colder, like Chicago? Is that why it's getting colder in those areas?
Hold on, we're going to give her a download on that.
Okay.
It is not a total flip as you would think. The South Pole is now the North Pole and so on. There is a partial shift. It is, as we are seeing it, it looks as if we have the North and South Pole, and then they shift almost.
They shift.
What I mean, they shift just slightly. So it is not a complete flip of the poles, but maybe a quarter turn, so to speak. And that is like we were saying. This is not a quick thing that happens. This is ongoing. This will take years to accomplish the complete shift. And so we say that this will probably be something you'll experience most of your life. And it is definitely affecting the weather, yes. It is creating a whole new dynamic for, what are we saying, prime property. Yes. Those who thought they had it so well in the sunshine may be rethinking their location in a few years.
Would that be like the southern parts or the northern part of the U.S.?
Yes, if you could imagine just taking the planet, take your little Earth and just give it a quarter turn, and then look and see where you live lines up now, and what the weather is for who used to be there would now be your weather. Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it does.
And this goes for anywhere on the planet, wherever you are that you are listening to this. Just
good response.
Weather will change, but it will change slowly over time.
I understand. Nothing drastic, nothing too serious. One more question. It dealt with the energy from the solar shift. You mentioned the animals, and I know a lot of people worry about their animals more than themselves, and I know that's one of the questions that people have. How does the energy affect the animals?
Well, again, you guys, look at your social media. Have you noticed the consciousness of animals has shifted?
I had a feeling you was going to bring that up. Yes, it does seem like animals are becoming smarter. They starting to
Yes, they
notice
are
more
evolving.
things. They're becoming more personal, like emotional.
You have a doggy, just like
Mm-hmm.
I was holding that doggy earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Your doggy. Remember when you were a child and had a dog, and now think about your doggy that you have now. Do you see a difference in the
Yes.
intelligence of these animals? The
Yes.
awareness, the response. It's almost as if they can understand you. Because they can. Mhm.
Yes. We did say that once before, especially when it comes to his treats. Like he knows when he's about to get a treat.
Mhm. And you are right, they are more emotional. I believe you said that. They are more emotional,
Mm-hmm.
they're evolving, and they are more sensitive. Animals are very empathic. And as the empath, as they become more aware and more evolved, then they're now more understanding of, say, their interaction with a human. When a human is yelling at the dog is now more aware that this is making it sad. Whereas maybe if we talk about wild animals out in the forest,
Mm-hmm.
where, say, a deer has to be instinctual about, a hunter or something predatory in the area, that is a little different. But still, the animal is evolving to being more aware, just like animals that are in contact with the humans are also experiencing this wave of enlightenment. They are becoming more aware of the feelings and their emotions, the words that are being spoken. They are a little smarter, a little more emotionally connected. Just like the videos of the chickens hugging the little boy, or the cow with its head laying on somebody's lap while it pets it. They are becoming more evolved, and that is happening everywhere. There's a video going around that this one here likes, where the little cardinal is landing on the woman's shoulder, and it just sits there and lets her pet it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, more evolved, more connected. The animals are here to help. They're they're here to show unconditional love, show trust and faith. Think about the wild animals as they are out in the world. They always know they are taken care of. They live in the moment. The little birds in the winter, they still find food to eat. And yet the humans worry, worry, worry. And so watch the animals, learn from the animals. They teach us how to be in the moment, and they teach us how to trust that we are taken care of and that we will always have what we need. Mhm.
Good, great response, because that's going to help out a lot of people uh, when it comes to animals, their pets, and so on.
Yes. Enjoy those little pets.
Oh yeah. You mentioned crop circles.
Mhm.
Have I have some thoughts on crop circles, but a lot of people out there kind of have the wrong impression of crop circles, and I wanted to get your definition for the YouTube collective on crop circles. If you can talk about that for a little bit.
We would be interested in hearing your thoughts on crop circles.
That one part that I wanted to know if it was true or not is the see early on I thought crop circles were made from UFOs from above
Mhm.
and flattening the crops. Later on, I maybe it was Dolores Cannon's books, maybe that the crop circles are coming from below the earth and then rising up, and then the crop circles will be formed. So I just wanted to get your perspective on that.
Mm. We're looking for someone to bring that answer in for you. Mm-hmm. So many rules once again. How does it happen? The inquiring minds want to know. Mm-hmm. So we say to you, mm-hmm, yes, it comes from inside, it comes from outside. It is frequency. We talk much about frequency. There is so much frequency happening. There is frequency that comes from the inside and will form these formations, make these formations. It is not to say that there is not energy that is being extracted from outside, also being pulled in to create these circles. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like when you're sucking on a straw and you're pulling that liquid up through the straw, the earth is pulling that energy in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And is that kind of what you were seeing in your mind when you say the earth is creating that crop circle, creating that pattern?
More along the lines of that the energy wave is formed below the earth. I don't know how deep. And then it rises up, and as that energy rises up, it makes its form, makes that crop circle on the crop as it comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Is it from, I guess another question would be, is it more from UFOs that's making the crop circles, energy beings, or the earth is making the crop circles?
One of those deeper questions once again. There are many factors that go into the crop circles and why they are there. They do carry a healing frequency for the planet. And like we said earlier, for the people. There is many patterns of these circles, these crop formations. We don't even want to call them circles because they are all sizes and shapes. There is a source beneath the earth that is part of the element of creating the crop circle, which would be the moisture. The moisture is at play with how these crop circles are formed. So the energy that is, or the frequency that is being created, is created through the water, through the vibration of the earth, and will work with the crop to make that visual. The visual circle or the formation is there. It does not need to be there. What needs to happen is the frequency that the planet is receiving, correct? But the pattern is left behind as demonstration to humankind that there is something bigger at play here, to get the minds to start expanding. There are so many elements to why those formations are there. And look at all the people that have become aware. And is it from space? Sure. Is it from Earth? Sure. It is from everything. It is from source. It is part of this evolutionary process, this awakening, this enlightenment of moving people into thinking bigger, taking the limits off. There is very much truth to what you are saying with the way that this is happening. There is more to it, and yet it is just that simple as well. So another one that might be a little hard to answer.
I understand. Is this still the Imperial Council, or is this someone else?
This is the Orion Council.
The Orion Council? For the crop circles, what kind of healing? You said earlier that it's also for mankind as well, besides, opening their minds, but you also mentioned healing. How does that work? from the crop circles from a healing point of view?
Hmm. You're going to put me back in my body for a second here. I just happen to have a deck of crop circle cards.
Interesting.
So I'm going to answer that question apparently. So if you find a card that resonates with you out of this deck of cards, you're supposed to spend time looking at that pattern. It's a frequency that will bring in whatever healing this resonates with. So what you would do is go through all of these cards. You find the one that stands out to you. Maybe this one, for instance. And then you just spend time looking at that, or you set your glass of water on it and allow the frequency of that intention to move through you, or through the thing that, you know, if you put food on it, if you put a glass of water on it, whatever, that's that frequency.
Interesting.
Now moving through you or through the water. Freddie Silva is the one that created these cards, and he oh wow, that is really weird. That card just started moving. That just
maybe you got to show that one.
Okay, guys.
The card was moving, or the picture was moving?
For me. That right there, that circular pattern, I just saw it move all the way around the outside of the circle, and it kept going around and around and around. Just now when I was looking at it, it just went, and it kept moving around. Okay.
Interesting. Where can people find the cards?
Let me see if he's got a website. cropcirclesecrets.org.
Okay.
And I'll give you, there's another, oh, that's an email address. So cropcirclesecrets.org. Hopefully you can find him there. I found him at his workshop, so that's where I got him from. But yeah, so now I'm going to play with those a little bit more now that one started moving. That was wild. I do think we're done though. I can feel myself fading out, and so I just want to thank all of the councils that came in today. That was some pretty cool channeling going on there.
Yes,
having all those groups show up was good. I'm not really sure who did the healing.
I thought it was a shaman.
The shaman came in and did the light language at the end of, I don't know who, it was a masculine energy that came in.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not sure what group he was with. I suppose I could probably ask, but I have a feeling he was with the Orion group as well. But a very beautiful masculine energy that was doing the raise the vibration talk part. But yeah, I was like, I don't know which one this is. But I mean, the information was coming in, so we'll let that be that. It was definitely a good energy. So yeah.
We touched base on a lot of stuff, so
yeah, that was good.
A whole bunch of stuff. So definitely 2 videos worth, absolutely. So the solar shift, the polar shift, how to raise your vibrations from the chaos, law of attraction, manifesting, healing meditation, ascension, a lot of good stuff. You mentioned Valentine's Day, the energy for February versus the energy in August, that was talked about as well, and that was an interesting point of view as well. So
yeah, they're definitely getting us ready for something.
Cool.
So
like it.
I don't know what August is going to bring, but we may want to put our seatbelts on. It feels like it'll be a strong energy. So, you know, sometimes that's good, and sometimes that feels like we're getting beat up a little bit. But
absolutely, it's how from what it sounds like, from how they describe everything, it's how you are willing to take it and how you want to take it.
Yeah, exactly. So very cool. Well, that was good. Apparently that was the right timing to do that because they were all like right there. I'm just sitting there going, there's like 4 of them here. Did we get all 4 of them? We had the Octurian, the Imperial, the one that did the channel for the healing, and then the Orion Council. Was there another one?
I'm not too sure because it's not like they say who they are when they come through.
You can just hear the voice change.
Yeah. And at first I thought maybe at one point the Imperial Council changed to someone else, and then
the Imperial Council went from the woman that speaks through me that I just call her the Imperial to a masculine energy that was speaking through me. So there were 2 different Imperials that came through. Yeah. So that might be what you were sensing is like.
Right. It was a difference, but
yeah.
You even brought up Dolores Cannon.
Yeah, that was funny because I could see her in my head going, no.
And at one time, at one part, I thought she was coming through because the way you was moving your hands.
It's possible.
And I was like, maybe that is her. So maybe she just decided to talk.
Yeah. She does talk to me, so that could be that she popped in there. But when they said maybe Dolores would like to answer this, I'm just seeing this in my head so clear. It was like, no.
Come on, Dolores.
Come play. So,
maybe next time. There's other times. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's probably like thinking, how can I describe this? Because it was an interesting question to answer.
Which question was that one?
The Ascension. How does the Ascension help out on a soul level?
Oh, yeah, that one was really
like it. In my mind,
there were so many levels to it that it was like, where do you start?
Exactly. And then that's when it's like, oh, that's such a difficult, interesting questions. And then you mentioned it's like convoluted.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I see where she got the name.
Yeah.
It was like, I mean, they couldn't even show me all of the different, like, there was just so many different ways that, and there's so many different aspects of the soul playing out at the same time. And so it was really a hard one to answer because they're all collecting information. And yeah, it all goes back to that high self or the soul. And that helps evolve the soul, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have enough. I think it was beyond my scope. And so, because I know that one of the things that I was shown before is that when we raise the vibration, when we raise the planet out of the 3rd dimension into a 5th dimension, it's the whole galaxy gets to bump up. You know what I mean? So that's why everybody's waiting for that to happen.
Right. So, it's like a snowball effect from when
Yeah. So it's and I got that information, and then there was a client of mine that didn't know that I had gotten that information, that everyone's watching us like a big old party, because when we successfully move the earth vibration into that 5th dimensional reality and out of the 3rd dimension, then the 3rd dimension, I think, drops away. And
right, it would be harder for the 3rd dimension.
And then so like 3D and below go bye-bye, and then we bounce up to another level of something. So everybody's waiting to see what that next level is. We can't even fathom it. It's going to be off the charts. So,
it makes more sense too, in a way. It's like it is what you create, kind of thing. So if you create your reality,
let's start creating some really awesome stuff.
Then that's where you're going to be. But if you create your reality here, then that's what it's going to be at.
Yeah.
As well. So it makes sense. So, and then you touched the base on the animals, and I know people are concerned about their animals with all this energy coming through and the shifts and the event. So that was a good one.
If animals leave their bodies, if they're choosing to exit, one of the things I'm shown too is that they don't care. They don't care. They're like, okay, I'm done with that one. It's like, oh, that happened. Okay. And they're out of the body. So yeah, I mean, animals transition so much easier than we do because they don't fear it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not thinking about how am I going to die like humans do. It's like, how many days are my days numbered, whatever it is. But they're, they just transition out and they're like, next thing, moving on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I still think it's interesting how they know, they kind of know the questions ahead of time and
apparently they're easy.
connect them.
Of course,
They can
according
connect.
to Dean's reading of my Ascension map, they never leave me. So they would hear all the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
It was funny how they were connecting the questions with their answers. I was like, well, since you brought that up, that was the next thing we were going to talk about, since you did bring that up.
Yeah. So if they are always connected to me, then, yes, they're hearing it. They're in my mind. I heard it. So.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah. It comes across more like they're just sitting there listening, waiting for their turn to speak. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next time.
Play with these crop circle cards.
Yes. Especially if one of them was moving, maybe that was
moving. And then I went and shuffled it into the deck. So now I got to find it again. Not a very smart move on my part. I should have looked at that longer. But anyway.
You'll find it again, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if it was meant to be. Well, we didn't talk about 1111 and the 333.
Oh, yeah.
So we can save that for the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, because that would be good to touch on. But yeah, that would be good for the next one. We'll start compiling questions. I have a 7:00 meeting, which is in 8 minutes. That I took.
Okay.
How long were we doing that?
Oh wow! I was kind of shocked. I'm like, man, I'm surprised something didn't happen.
Right.
But it seemed like
it felt to me like I was in that for a half hour.
Oh, wow! It was longer. But it did feel like you was more connected. It felt like you was.
Well, that was one of my complaints with them last time, is that it's like I didn't feel really connected on that last one, especially when you brought the Palladian stuff up. It just felt really like I was flailing out there, and I'm like, I don't do that to me again, or I won't do these videos. So maybe that was it. But yeah, because I don't want to go out there and, I mean, you can tell.
Well, it's kind of like how you were saying, like if you're not used to, let's say the Palladian energy, you weren't connecting with it. But this go around, I just kept it with what
was showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a good tactic because that seemed to work. The ones that were popping in were, and then they kept showing me those crop circle cards when you brought up the crop circles. Like, get out the cards, get out the cards. I'm like, my eyes are closed. And my phone went off, the alarm went off because I'm supposed to set up for that meeting. So, like,
yep,
all right,
all due time.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
So I suppose I better go do that, and I'll bounce over to that meeting now. So
absolutely,
right. Cool. I look forward to what you decide to do with all that.
Absolutely, yeah, me too. Me too. A lot of great
my
stuff.
new word of today will be magnificent. I was laughing in my head. I'm like, you guys are using that word a lot. Magnificent.
Nice.
So, yeah. Anyways, all right. Well, thank you. And
you're welcome. Thank you. Hello, my name is Jason Ballay. I hope you watched the video from Tracie Mahan channeling all these different entities, all these beings, these beautiful, powerful beings. But like I said, this is a two-part video. So if not everything that I was talking about in the beginning was in this video, there's a second one. So just remember, it's a two-part video. So it's 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. And it's going to be so much information came through that I had to break this video up into 2. So whether it was the solar shift, the polar shift, or manifestation or ascension wasn't in this video, please check out the second video. Also, please make sure you subscribe to the channel, and Tracie Mahan's channel. Please make sure you subscribe to her channel and check out her website for the services she offers. to get that deep ascension type of meditation and any type of healing or questions that you want to explore. So definitely check out our website with that. And like I said, if you're watching the second video, find the first one. I'm going to try to have both of them linked up in the description as well. So, but like I said, if you don't see the second video, please subscribe. But there will be the second video being uploaded later on. And also, please make sure you subscribe to get more videos. There's going to be more videos like this coming out in the future. So please subscribe, hit that bell so you can get those notifications when those videos get uploaded. So I was talking to Tracie, and there's going to be more information coming through. And as the information comes through more and more, the information is going to get better and better. And from what it sounds like, a lot of interesting things is going to happen. So it's pretty exciting stuff. So, all right, take care. I hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe.